Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Got it.
Hi, I'm Tracy Lauth, and I'm here today to talk about Plein Air and our upcoming competition. Who here is a Plein Air artist? Okay, I see. Who here would like to try Plein Air? I love that, and I want to see all of you registered in our upcoming Plein Air competition. So I want to just kind of start with a little bit of a history of Plein Air, because I think it's going to kind of surprise you. The Plein Air movement started in the 1800s. Claude Monet and Camille Pissarro actually left their studios and went out into the field. And it was considered quite shocking at that time because everyone painted inside of a studio. And what they did was they started a movement of painting in the light. So plein air means open air, or à la prima. And it's a French term. And so it just means that you just take your materials outside and you're painting right there in the light, in the moment, so that every piece of art is actual, you capture a moment in time. And plein air has been very popular. It's also a big mystery to people. And people have a misconception about plein air. A lot of people think that you have to haul out these huge easels and paint and umbrellas and all the materials out there. But today I want to talk to you about how you can simplify that. I have gone from the very complicated oils in the field with solvents and gloves and garbage cans and all that kind of stuff. And I've gone to sketch and watercolor, which has simplified the materials that I need to bring with me. And then I can go back to my studio and I can paint it if I choose, or I can complete the piece as it is. And so I just kind of want to go through all of that. Let's talk about a day out in the field. I'm getting some feedback here. A day in the field of plein air. So you go and you set up, you bring your materials out there, and everything is perfect. And you plein air paint early in the morning or late in the afternoon because you want the shadows and you want the colors, the golden hours of both the morning and the afternoon. They're much more dramatic, and they give you much more different values in your painting, which become more interesting. But you go out there and you set up and you see something perfect and you get all ready to go, and all of a sudden it's been 20 minutes and the sun has changed. The sun has moved and your shadows are different. And then the bugs come out and you get bit by a mosquito or a bug on your ankle. All of a sudden the wind, oh gosh, there's some clouds, so all of your shadow is gone. But that's what plein air is all about. You just wait another 20 minutes and things will be a whole different painting. The beauty of where we live is in El Dorado County is that we have so much to be inspired from. We have the mountains, we have the rivers, we have barns, we have Placerville, just the buildings, the old buildings, Goldbug Park. We have the park down by the river. All of these places are very inspiring. The thing about plein air and capturing the moment of plein air is it's different than studio painting. And I think I kind of alluded to how quickly things change. But thanks to the iPhone, we can actually hold on to the moment much longer than Monet or Pissarro could hold on to it. They would have to come back the same exact time, day after day after day, to try to capture what they were painting. And I give them a lot of credit for that because that's very challenging. But so painting in the moment is so important. It's also a different approach to painting. So plein air is different than studio painting. In the studio, or when I sketch, I look at what is going to be the object of interest in my painting, what I want people to focus on, and I have time to work on that. And then I come to my background, and the studio gives me plenty of time to do that, and I can paint that from a picture, I can make it up in my head, I can do whatever. When you plein air, you have to capture what you are looking at, all of it. So you really need to focus on what your subject matter is and make sure that you don't lose that in your painting. And you do that by doing painterly things like adding little swishes of red and different warm colors to go against your cool shadows. But plein air is really the whole painting in about a few hours. So a lot of times we attack it by going after our darks first and laying in our dark values. And then we come back and add our light colors to it. And that helps us to not lose those shadows that are present when we're setting up our equipment. Plein air is such an important movement of art because it is capturing the moment, but it's also challenging the artist. It's challenging us to look at something, not all of this, but look at this. This is what we want to paint. I want to paint that chair. I'm not painting the room. But you have to learn because you're out in the open and you can't just fold a piece of paper, cut things off, put it up there, tape it on your easel, and you have to be able to look at it and to be able to bring it into focus, what it is you want to paint. Oops. Sorry.
Turn you down.
I wonder what you're getting
Sorry.
too close to.
What am I getting close to? Your
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be that.
Is that microphone on?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So what we use in the field are viewfinders. You all have these, or? Okay. These are very important because you look at what it is that you want to paint, and then you use this grid to figure out your composition. Very important. Sketch out on your paper what the most important thing in your painting or your piece of art will be, if you're painting or sketching or whatever, and you want to get the outlines of that onto your canvas. And then from there, you go about creating your piece. Now that's the way I approach it. Other people might approach it differently, but I really try to get onto my canvas. And by the way, in plein air, canvases are very small. Now, if you're doing watercolor or you're quite accomplished, you can paint a much larger format. The smaller the format for me, the better, because I can get onto this in a couple of hours. And when I say this, are you familiar with panel packs? No. Carrying wet paintings? These are great. So I paint on wood. And I take the piece of wood and I gesso it and I sand it and I put a couple of coats on it. And then it becomes a nice lightweight and very inexpensive. You can buy like 10 of these for $10. And, Hobby Lobby,
And what are they
Michaels. Oh, these are just wood. These are
Panel packs?
No. This is the panel pack. These are I don't even know what kind of wood they're on, but anyway, I buy them, 25 at a time, gesso them all, have them in my studio. And then this carrier here is really great because it's basically a picture frame but double-sided. So I can put my wet pieces in here. And then just band them. And then this becomes a safe way of transporting them. And they come in all different sizes. These are some of the sizes that I have.
What are those called?
Panel packs,
Oh,
that's what they're called.
and the others are just called panels.
Panelpack.com.
You've got a label on the back. You could walk it toward the camera for posterity. There we go. It'll be on YouTube now. It's famous.
Fantastic. And I believe that you could put a canvas on here. It just goes into the little frame, and then there's a space of about ½ an inch, and so that they don't touch each other. And then these keep your car clean, your clothes clean, and hopefully your hands clean as well. But this is what I use to transport. Even when I just got back from a 4-day plein air workshop up in Shelter Cove. Anyone been to Shelter Cove before? Beautiful, but oh my gosh, I had 6 hours to get to the coast. Oh my gosh. But it was beautiful. We had a house right on the ocean, and there were 7 artists. We produced 17 paintings in 2 days of outdoor plein air painting. So this was really great for me to be able to transport my art home. So whether your medium is oils, acrylic, sketch, charcoal, pencil, watercolor, whatever your medium is. You need to be able to transport these things out to wherever you're going comfortably. And for that reason is why I've changed from having this backpack that weighs about 40 pounds once I get all my equipment in it. And let me show you what goes into it. Not only do my panel packs go in there, but oil paints, an umbrella. Yes, we carry umbrellas. We take, if we're painting somewhere that we don't want to mess up, like we're going to a patio of an Outlook or something, or someone's parking lot or someone's home, we bring a piece of plastic so we paint on that. We bring our aprons. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but pictures. Bring your garbage out with you. Your brushes, your easel, your solvents, and the tripod. I made the big mistake early on in Plein Air of looking for the lightest weight, everything I could possibly find, because I had to carry that sucker. Well, guess what? Wind blows it very easily. Mm-hmm. So I had to switch to something that was a little more robust. But then I had to learn how to reduce the amount of stuff I carry out into the field. So oftentimes I'll actually take my paints and I'll put them on my palette here and take it preloaded with paint. That's limiting. Still take your white with you because you're going to need 10 times more white than you think. And then I always have gloves with me. I always wear gloves when I'm out painting. All these chemicals are so, they're just long-term. Look at Bob Ross. Probably not the best thing for us is to be putting paintbrushes in our mouth loaded with CADs and stuff. Anyway, so that is kind of the traditional approach to Plein Air. And I highly encourage people still do that. However, I've changed how I approach it. So for example, I've started doing sketch. I went to the Sacramento Zoo, I sketched this person, and this is all I needed to take with me. No backpack, no paints, didn't have to haul stuff around. And I have a little stool that I take with me, a little portable stool. I forgot to bring it with me. But that's sketch, that's just pencil. So you could take you could go out and you could sketch. Anyone heard of urban sketching? It's this new movement of drawing and painting in the moment. Well, this is urban sketching. This is the Heidelberg Bridge. And I sat there and I drew it out with a pencil, then I watercolored it, and then I outlined it with an ink pen to highlight the parts that I wanted to call attention to. All that I needed for this was this. And that was my Plein Air. And that's a lot of equipment. I could cut this back by half. All I needed was just watercolor, brushes, and water, and a pencil and a pen. Very easy. So those of you who are intimidated about Plein Air, and you think, oh, I can't take all that equipment out, and it's heavy and it's cumbersome. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's very easy to do. And whatever your medium is. By the way, this is new. This is the first piece I did in urban sketching. So I thought I did a pretty decent job. This is a mixed media piece that I did. Okay, who wants to guess where I was? Anyway, so this is my sketchbook I take with me when I travel. And, I'll do some test things, just some quick sketches. We all know what that is. A boat that I drew. I'm kind of known for my boats. I'm not sure what else is in here. No, nothing else. And then this last weekend, when we were up at Shelter Cove, I decided, because it was so darn windy, you know how gale force winds are on the coast, right? I decided to do charcoal. And I did a charcoal of the black sand beach. It was charcoal, an eraser, and a piece of paper. So you don't have to carry 55 pounds of equipment with you any longer. You can. I don't know if you can see my little cart under here. I have one of those little roll-away kind of beach cart things. Very handy to save your back and your rotator cuff.
Razor.
Eraser.
Oh.
Eraser. The little gray, the little gray.
Need an eraser.
Yeah. So anyway, and that was what I did. And that took, well, I sketched it out and then I went back and it probably took about 3 hours back, cozy in front of the fire to finish it.
That's cheating.
So, that's funny, that brings up a good point, plein air. So does plein air all have to be out in the field? No, it's really up to you. Oftentimes people will do studies. The greats did studies and then went back to their studios and painted. And there's absolutely no reason you can't do that as well. You can go out and do a study, you can do a value study in the field where you just put down your darks and your lights and you're getting your shadows and your shapes. Take a picture of it on your iPhone and then take it back and put it on your iPad next to your easel and repaint it. And you can finish your painting, you can do a whole new painting, you can not do your paint, not touch it at all in your studio. There's different mindsets about that, and you'll run into different people that will have different opinions about it. But looking at this crowd, I don't think any of you want to go sit out in a field for 5 hours and paint. I don't. I want to go out in the field and I want to go for about 3 hours at the most, sketch things out, and then get back someplace where I can then work on it and refine some things. So that is plein air. And there's all different ways to approach it. I just hope that I've opened your mind and given you some ideas as to how you can do it without having to haul the really heavy or invest in the equipment. Because all this equipment is pretty expensive. I'm going to say this was probably about $300 just for this unit here. And then there's all this stuff that goes with it. And then the backpack. And so it can get expensive. What I want to encourage is that you limit it, bring it down, take what you need to do out and enjoy the outdoors. Capture the moment in time and show us what you see through color. So the other things that you get out of plein air is it does improve or does change your observation of light and color. So you see things completely differently than you do in the studio. So you actually see the values. And if you want, you ever gone out and squinted and looked at something and all you see is darks and lights? And that's the approach to plein air, is that you're looking at those values, your warm shadows against your cool highlights or vice versa. And just really getting those shadows in. And it's not detail. It is not detail. It is swatches of color. And then when you step back, you see something. That's really how you should approach plein air. But you're perfectly fine to put in all the detail if you want. But you're going to be sitting there for a very long time doing that. It also helps you to build your composition skills because it makes you think about things real quick. You go out and you look and you go, I see that beautiful plant there, but it's got a bucket next to it with all this stuff. Well, leave the bucket out. Add something else in. Make your background a different color. I mean, it really helps you think quickly as to what you want to put on that canvas or whatever you're painting on. Are there questions at this point? Oh, I see hands. Yes.
Could you tell us the brand name of your stand, tripod, and easel?
Tripod I'm going to have to work on to get you that information. I think it's a Ranger or something. This is an open-end box, and I think they stopped making them. But I think he's going to start making them again, so I can certainly go talk to you about that more offline. So, yes.
I brought
You
my
have a Gorilla
box
box.
with me. Yeah.
Yes.
And I thought people would like to see this. This I just got about 3 months ago
Okay.
online. And I forgot, I think it was about $100. But you can come and look at it if you want, and you can open it up and do various things.
You have a drawer that you can put your paints in and everything. Yeah, those are really good.
Right.
Those can get heavy,
Yeah.
but it's, again, the weight keeps it from blowing over.
And has a tripod that I put on the bottom, and I have the same umbrella, and that goes here.
Mhm.
And I can sit on a folding stool. But also, I should pass this around.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a few minutes.
And she's registered for the competition.
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. Did I see another hand back here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to ask about acrylics. I didn't mention acrylic at all. Any advice on acrylics from Plein Air?
Acrylics are fine, but they dry really fast, so they can be really challenging for plein air. Pastels, watercolor, which, because it dries fast, you can get the different colors on top of each other. But you can mix the mediums, or you can use the pad underneath it. I guess keeps it from drying as much. But certainly you
And
can.
you can add some kind of flow something to the paint
Yeah,
to inhibit
mediums.
Retardant?
Yeah, there are mediums that you can add that'll slow them down. But yeah, I mean, acrylics are, if you can work with acrylics, that's great. I can't, it dries. I go back and it's just completely dry. Yes.
Go ahead.
Have you tried gouache?
Yes, in fact, I have some gouache on this here. I don't paint with it as my primary. I will add, especially white, back into my paintings later on because it's very hard to keep white in watercolor when you're out urban sketching. Okay, one more question, then we can.
As a curator to what you guys bring in, if you are going to work in pastel, you really need to spray it before you bring it into
Yes.
frame. Because otherwise it just chalks everywhere.
Right, right.
Yeah, we had a piece at the county fair last year that wasn't sealed before it was hung.
Right.
And it just kept chalking down all over everything.
Yeah. So, and I mean, charcoal is like that as well. Just one brush across charcoal and the whole piece is marked up. Any other questions before I move on? Yes.
I also do watercolor, and I've traveled overseas with a little Cotman kit, and it flips out, and I've even painted on airplanes on that little, yes. But I've got another type too.
So I got this from Fumi, and I put my watercolors in it, and then I can take this with me. And these are very strong colors. They're not quite gouache, but they're very strong, and I can get really vivid colors from this.
And you can take a tube and refill it.
I do, that's what I do with this.
Yeah.
So I have my tubes of watercolor. So the tubes of watercolor are nice because you can get really strong colors. And then when you're working with these little palettes here, they're great, and you can change your colors out. I adjust my colors to where I'm going. If I'm going to be doing architecture painting, or I'm going to be doing bridges and trees and stuff like that, I actually change. I have two of them that I have my different colors. The other thing that I have from Fumi are these brushes. These are great. And I have 3 sizes. Hello?
It's always that, huh?
You're winning.
Oh, I'm glad you showed us those, because I thought those were just short little brushes in there, so that's great that you showed us those.
So, yeah.
Tracy, 1 second. This may be a good time for everybody to turn off their phones
Ah.
or silence them.
So, as you can see, I have three sizes, and these are Fumi brushes. And Fumi, F-U-U-M, somebody know how to spell it? Oh, here it is, F-U-U-M-U-U-I, Fumi.
Yes, we got that, thank you.
Okay, these are great, absolutely great. And that's who I got this little palette from, which I can refill, and I take it with my sketchbook, and it just works out really nicely for me. And then the watercolor. So I carry 2 of these, so clean water and the wash. Yes? Yes.
Have you ever used the watercolor filled water brushes?
Yes.
So those.
Funny you should mention that. I've got them right here. So what these are is you put water in the tube, And then as you squeeze it, water comes out, and then you go into your watercolor with it, and then you just clean them by squeezing, and the water drips. Oh, there's water in this one. And then you just put it in your little cup and clean it. And so you really only need a couple of sizes of these.
Those are great on a plane too.
Absolutely. They're wonderful just to sit somewhere and just pull something out. And there's also the, what do you call these things?
Pipette.
How, what?
Isn't that pipette?
Pipette, yeah.
Yeah. And this way you can just get a little bit of water. You can fill your pen with it. You can put a little bit of water on your palette. You can keep your acrylics from drying. I've not worked with acrylics, so that's the one medium that I'm absolutely frightened of.
I only do acrylics, so I don't think about any paints.
So yeah, I have kind of every gadget out there, and I've been trying them and trying to figure out, and these brushes come in all different sizes. Look at, this is the filled water brush, and it's quite large, so you can get in your, your larger areas on. And then I have, I think I should. Oh, I do. My little water spray.
Oh, yeah.
So this is how I can keep things moist and wet my paper before I paint, so.
You could probably put a solvent in there too for your acrylic paint if it didn't come in a spray bottle already.
I bet.
And then maybe you'd be less afraid of it.
I don't know, acrylic. Yeah, talk to my husband about that. One more thing. As you can see, I like to have gadgets. And then another thing that I do, Plein Air, is I have a travel journal. And everywhere I go, and this is my first watercolor I ever did. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. And then as you can see, I start to improve a little bit. And then
Put those closer to the camera.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're depriving them all of the experience.
a travel journal. And then that's my first. Terrible. But you know where that is, right? That's Venice. Okay. And then Puerto Vallarta. And then this is a little schoolhouse up in Napa somewhere, it says it. Sonoma. And this is the colors in Park City, Utah in the fall. Little house I saw, couldn't pass it up. Oh, we rode camels in Cabo San Lucas, so I went and I just painted a cactus. And then flowers in Costa Rica, and then laundry hanging out in Evora, Portugal. So this is the tubes of watercolor. The other ones are, let's see, this one is watercolor markers. So I learned a lot, obviously.
Tracy, one of the things that's very interesting to me is you gave a presentation about Plein Air 2 or 3 years ago here. And one of the primary differences that I see between that demonstration and this is you were pretty much into the heavy equipment at that point in time. You were doing oil, you hadn't branched out into pencils and charcoal and watercolor, and you've really expanded your horizons on what for you has become acceptable for media to use in the field. It's really exciting to see this.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. And I want to point something out. I'm not kidding you. So when I was very young, I liked to draw. And my mother said, learn how to play the violin and cook. That's what little girls just, little girls supposed to grow up and be wives, whatever. And so I didn't draw for many years. And that leads me into travel art. So, do you know how to get your travel tax deductible? You take painting and art classes when you're out. So in Mexico, I went and I took a sketch class, a beginning sketch class. Never, ever, ever sketched anything in my life. And at the end, an hour and a half later, I had done this.
Oh my goodness.
So you just don't know what you have inside of you until you try. I was an oil painter. And then I took a pencil up. And this is what happened. And all of this is because that one class in Mexico. It was a $30 class. It was beginning sketch class. The instructor even said to me, why are you painting? You should be drawing. You're a sketch person. You should be drawing things. things. So I at that moment, I committed 1 year away from oil paint and just to do sketch, to work on my composition and my values and different things. I'm now going back to oil, and it has vastly improved my composition, how I approach my subject matter. I'm just better because I look at the subject and I say, okay, how can I get the subject in there and make that the focal point, and then add the other stuff later. So, and that's really important in plein air. You get lost in the moment. Everybody does. Who here paints plein air? Right? You get lost in the scenery, don't you? There's just so much of it. And you want to take a piece of plywood and cut a hole in it and just block everything else out. And you can't. So that's why you learn so much from plein air. Okay, so let's talk about, any more questions about what is plein air and how everyone can do it? Nope, okay. So let's talk about the exciting thing. We are doing a second plein air competition this year. And it's again in Greenstone, and I think we're roughly 20.
We've got about 20 registered right now.
20 registered. And we've got 3 more coming in the queue that are going to be registering this week. So we're already at where we were last year. So we really want to get to 35 artists because we think that that would really not only grow the understanding and that we're doing this, but also get more art into the show that we do at the end of the competition, the show and sale. And so if you're not signed up for it, please do. Everybody can do it. Even if you're a beginner and you've never done it, try it. This is your chance to try and actually be around other plein air artists.
That's the first place entry last year.
Oh yeah,
It's on our PAA.gallery website.
yeah. She went down to the American River and painted that, and it was lovely.
Now with the competition, you mentioned about going sketching or starting,
Mhm.
then going back and finish the studio. Is there any rules with regards to that? How much time you need to?
So
to
the
play
competition, good question. So in a plein air competition, it's always timed. So you come in the morning between 7:30 and 8:30, and we stamp your canvas or canvases, however you want to do it, or whatever you're creating your art on. It could be paper, it could be a canvas, it could whatever. And then you go off and create. You come back at 3 o'clock, done. And it has to be the canvas or whatever. It has to be stamped. And then you frame it. Doesn't have to be hung, but it does have to be framed. You have to provide your frame. And then we display it. And then we have a judge that comes in. And this year we have Bobby Baldwin. And that's the person that I just went to her plein air workshop last weekend. And I watched her and I listened to her and her style and her approach. She's absolutely wonderful. And so then there's the judging and then the awards. And this year we have a first, second, third, honorable mention, best of show, and people's choice. So the people that are attending, and we invite all the artists to invite people. We invite the membership to come. And then we also invite the residents of Greenstone who come in, and typically because they're painting someone's home, here's your house on the hill, they go, that's my house, I want to buy that. So it's kind of fun.
And so it's an open reception.
It's
After
open
the
reception.
painters come back in with their artwork, then the public is invited to come and see and appreciate and buy, and we'll have snacks.
Right. So are you all aware of the plein air competition coming up on May 9th? May 9th. And I have a couple of flyers up here. And I'm really excited about it because we are going to be growing this, and it is our intention next year to go to a plein air competition and art festival, which would be over a couple of days in Placerville, we believe at the fairgrounds. Okay, in April 17th and 18th. And so we're really going to open it up. And at that point, what we want to do is get it into Plein Air magazine and really promote this. And at some point in the future, whether next year or in the year after that, have an invitational component of it. So we get really good artists juried in, but we also have the amateur artists that come in that aren't juried in, and they have their own competition as well. It is the only non-juried plein air competition in Northern California. So what that means is you don't have to send in a piece of your art for someone to choose you to go out and paint live to show your work. It means that you can register, bring your materials, create your art, and you are automatically going to show in our show. So, and we're very proud of that. And we have specifically worked on that because as a plein air artist, I know how difficult it is and how, there's a thing called imposter syndrome, right? We all think that we can't really do this, we're not really good enough or whatever. You are good enough. So come and be in the plein air competition and try it. It's actually kind of fun, and you're gonna be with other artists creating art that day. They're all doing the same thing. They're all bringing their stuff, going out that day, coming back with art. And it's amazing to see it, yes?
Does it have to be in Greenstone?
Nope. No, you can leave. But Greenstone's beautiful. Are you guys familiar with Greenstone? It has 3 lakes, and I happen to live there, so the barn is, been made available to us for the 2nd year in a row. But no, you don't have to stay there. You can go paint anywhere that you want. In fact, the one that won, she had up there a few minutes ago, she went to the river. So we're only 15 minutes from the South Fork of the American River. Another thing I'm very excited about is, and I want to thank Sylvia for this, have you looked at our website? Because we have a whole plein air section up on our website now. So we have the competition, we have the paint outs, we have materials lists that you need to go out and do plein air art. We have some background on plein air, the history of plein air. It's really interesting. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough wonderful things about what a challenge it is to go out and create a piece of art in just a couple of hours. It's really fun. Any questions? I hope you do, because I'm ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
And it's been bugging me. I'm not a painter. But you talk about this water paintbrush that you put water in. So where do you get the color?
From your palette. So
But
from
the
your,
palette is dry.
That's why you're dipping a sponge into it essentially.
You can also buy a set of these that has color in some, and one of them is clear. So you can actually get a pin set that has it already loaded up too.
yeah, here's my, this is my landscape color palette. And I change these. I pull the pans out and put different ones. I probably have 200 pans of color. Funny, because I started off as an oil painter, I learned how to mix color. So you don't need 200 watercolors. You really just need 12. Because I paint with this. This is what I paint with. Yeah, I mean, you just create, and I left it dirty so you could see the different colors I'm creating inside of it. I mean, it's really fun. And that good?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about. Uh-oh, losing them.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about travel art, travel workshops, travel painting. So so there are all over the internet, if you have not seen it, there are all kinds of travel workshops. And I found this one. So if you want to go to Mexico, let's say you want to go on vacation to Mexico, you can go on there and you can look up plein air workshops. And there'll be artists that will be teaching like either a 1-day or a 5-day or a 7-day workshop that you can go down and you can immerse yourself in art. I highly recommend it because getting the perspective from other people and other cultures and how they approach art is so fascinating. And it's just made me such a better artist. Yeah. But here's Portugal. They have a 7-day, a watercolor escape to Portugal. Want to go on vacation? There you go. Here, there's this one called International Directory of Art Workshops and Showcases.
Got it?
And there you can go to Provence, you can go to south of Italy, you can go to, well, here's Italy, here's Tuscany, I don't think I was on the Italy page. There's Spain. So, but when you're traveling also, look up a one-day workshop. Anybody heard of San Miguel de Allende in Mexico? It is the Carmel of Mexico. We just went there and spent 4 days there. It's absolutely fantastic. It is just an artist mecca. And they have 2 art institutes. And you can go there and you can take a 5-day workshop. You can take a 1-day class from them. Or you could take sculpture, you can take watercolor, you can take plein air, you can, all kinds of classes down there. And, God, I hope no one hears from the IRS, but seriously, it does make a portion of if you are a professional artist and you claim that on your taxes and you use that as your business, it's a great way to get travel. Yes?
What was the name of that Carmel of Mexico?
Oh, San Miguel de Allende, Allende. Yes.
Right.
And
Is that the place you said there were just painters all over the streets
everywhere.
painting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh, I didn't mention this. So when I talked about bugs biting you and wind coming up into it, one of the most interesting things when you're plein air painting is other people walking up to you and talking to you and getting in your space and asking you questions. And they want to talk to you about what you're doing, and this is great, and do you sell your art, and da 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 da. It's just part of it. It's kind of funny, but I painted in, this was a story, I painted in Yosemite, the lookout where you can go up to the tunnel and look out, and I'm up there set up, and I'm with 3 or 4 other artists, and 2 busloads of Japanese tourists show up. And can I just say they don't understand personal space? So anyway, it was very interesting. I sold the painting right off my easel, and it wasn't even finished. So I did that in Tahoe as well. I was on the North Shore of Tahoe. What's that place where they have the Chris Crafts, the bar that's all over the water? It's famous. What?
Sand Harbor?
Not the name of it though. But anyway, I'm out there.
Garwood.
Garwoods. I'm out there painting, and a woman comes up to me, and she has her little child. She said, "Well, can you put my daughter in the picture in the painting? I'll buy it." And I was like, "Okay." There you go. It was not a portrait. But anyway, those are some funny stories about people just approaching you, and they just have no sense of, I'm working, Yes.
I had one woman, a pair of ladies from Australia when we were in Cinque Terre in Italy on the coast. Cinque Terre is the proper way to say it. But they loved the painting I was doing, and so when we got on the train, there were the ladies. And then we got off the train, there were the ladies. So I said, "Did you ever finish that painting?" And I said, "Yes. And I have a surprise for you. Take out your camera." And they took out their camera, and I had it in the bottom of my suitcase. And I just flipped it up and I said, "You can take a picture of it."
Oh, that's funny. Well, I'm in it for the money sometimes, so I do like to sell. I mean, at least a little bit. Last year I sold the most paintings I've ever sold in 1 year. Not impressive. I mean, that's like 10% of nothing is nothing. But switching my mediums that I'm using has really expanded my audience and my customer base. So,
Can I touch base on one more thing about the competition? It's possible that when you get into a competition, you're going to experience bad weather.
yes,
Our competition is Mother's Day, May 9th. It could rain.
day before Mother's Day.
Right, it did last year. And with our festival that we're planning in April of 2027, that's even earlier in the year. Don't let that kind of adversity put you off. We do a plein air component to the county fair every year, And 2 years ago, it was so hot that Vesla Hooper stood right next to the exhibit desk and painted the exhibit hall as part of the competition. And she sold her painting because it was different than everything else. And last year for our plein air competition, it rained, and Carolyn sat in the back of her SUV and completed.
With the lid open, right?
Yeah, completed her painting. So don't let adversity put you off of staying and doing it.
The watercolors that were brought in had dots from the rain.
Yeah, yeah.
It was funny. In fact, she sold, Liz
Sold hers.
And it had blotches from the rain, but she had an umbrella. And we had 100% turnout last year. Not one of the artists didn't show up because it was raining. It wasn't pouring, but it wasn't fun. Yes.
I can remember about 5 years ago, it was 100 degrees. And I sat in the shade and painted the carousel as it was twirling. And you almost have to take a picture with your eyes and put it in your memory bank to remember what it looked like. It was, well, I think it was even before cell phones, so it's been a while.
That would be a while. But the beauty of the cell phone is you can capture the moment, and you can even do some manipulation on it and some color changes and things. And, you know, there's purists out there that are like, oh my God, that's terrible. You know what? I say create art. Just create art. You know, whatever works for you, again, whether it's sketch, multimedia, urban sketching, do it. And the thing about plein air is it's in the moment. That's the thing. It's,
Pastel is probably not the best choice for the rainy day.
no.
That's when Liz switched to watercolor.
But we did have two pastel artists last weekend up on the coast. It was blustery. Their stuff turned out the best because they were able to get really rich colors down. Where the others, you know, I ended up doing a charcoal sketch, so because I just couldn't get the colors down.
Did they
Yes.
switch to more of an oil pastel?
I believe they were an oil pastel,
Yeah.
but it was very chalky. It was still chunky on it. And, yes.
Many years ago, we went to England, and my daughter let me borrow her camera. So it was a nice camera, and we used it a couple times, but it was before cell phone cameras, so you never know what you got until you get home. But each night, I would have a favorite thing I saw that day, and I would sit down in the room at night and sketch it in watercolor on these watercolor postcards you can get. And then I would send them back home to my family and friends. When I got home, I asked for each of them back.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Pam, you're
They all
bad.
gave them back to me after they had received them, and I put them in a little album. So now I have an album, but one person didn't send it back, he threw it away, and that was my brother.
Ah.
And so what I did was I remembered where it was, and I just did my own little sketch and put that in the book
Okay,
too.
well, good, yeah.
And-
I mean, plein air can be done on the postcard, you know, little postcard. You see my book. You can do it a very small. Most of the time, plein air is done very small. Very small because you're in the moment. But there are some artists that are fantastic and can do large formats,
Well,
yes.
you were talking right at the beginning about the way the day changes and the light changes, and the masters were trying to capture it. And there's the Monet Museum in Paris where you see a lot of his, Giverny, is that the name of it? Anyways, in his garden, yeah. But you can see a lot of repeat paintings of the same place.
Yes.
With almost the same colors, but every one of them was different.
Yes.
And it's just the way the light changes, and we kind of get, you know, I don't think any of us have spent that much time observing one thing over and over and over, but that's what you really see is that how different it looks over time. And maybe you see that in your garden, you know, you see the flowers come along differently through the year, and, you know, it changes, but it's a really interesting observation thing that plein air can capture with that, in that, and that's what strikes me the most. That's why I want to try it, because it seems interesting.
Because you do, you capture the moment.
Going to that point, a sunset is the same thing. You can close your eyes after you're looking at the sunset, and you open your eyes again, it's different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, those colors, they disappear after about 15 minutes.
Even
Yes.
stuff-
Do you paint in the studio at all?
I do.
What's the time? 50/50?
Now that I'm doing these different mediums, I'm probably 90% out in the field, 10% in my studio.
Does that force you, when you're out in the field, to paint or work?
I take it with me when I travel, so yes, in a way it does. I kind of have this guilt thing, like, oh, my sketchbooks, my husband's holding them around for me. I should really make some art.
Because sometimes people are in the studio and they're just, and then the phone rings or something happens.
Yeah, well, I don't have that, but yes. Yeah, the studio. And the studio to me is a very static place. And being out in nature is really very interesting. It slows you down, but it also speeds you up a little bit. You know, makes you look at the little things. It makes you look at the different colors in that flower, or that hummingbird, or the way the shadow casts, you know, on that fountain over in the corner. And you can see some of the water is in light and some of the water is in the shadow. And you can see it sparkles like diamonds. Capture that, you know, and that's what plein air does. And it really makes you stop and look at the world around you. And you see things completely differently if you're just spending time looking. So, thank you for asking. Yeah, my studio work, I have a hard time. My studio is more of a storage room now.
You can go out in your yard and do plein air. You don't have to,
Right?
you don't have to just, you can go out, you've got a flower out there, you can look in grass, you can just. You
Urban,
don't have to, and that way, if you don't like it too, you haven't spent a whole lot of time searching for a place. And, you know, time yourself to do 40 minutes, do 30 minutes, do 15 minutes,
yes.
and just do it. And learn how to work quickly and just go. You know, you've got an interesting leaf. You've got grass, you've got little fillery in the grass. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be this.
And
Well, look at Van Gogh painted his bedroom
Yeah,
like
it doesn't
45
have to be
times.
It doesn't have to be a thing. It can just
he did.
He really did. This here,
be anything, yeah.
so this here is just a moment in time.
And in fact, with our event that we're planning for 2027, since it's a 2-day event, we're considering adding, in addition to the main competition on Saturday, a quick draw event
Yeah.
on Sunday that would take place on Sunday morning and be judged by midday on Sunday. So it would be about a 2-hour quick draw as a second participation event.
Do you know what a quick draw is? No. Okay, a quick draw competition is it's a timed event. It's 2 hours. We could give 3, but usually it's 2. And you start, and all the artists start at the same time. It's kind of like a shotgun start at a golf tournament. And they get to draw, paint, do whatever, anything they want. Anything they might have painted it 100 times before. But they get to do whatever they want on their canvas. At the end of that 2 hours, they put it in a frame, bring it up, and they're sold at auction for charity. Isn't that nice? I know. You are a very charitable woman. But it's great because you could do anything. You could, if you drew a boat, I'm a boat person, so I could go out and paint a boat and then bring it in, frame it, and the audience would buy it. Hopefully. Yes.
Well, you mentioned these competitions and the classes as well, as far as traveling and to going to the classes. What have you found locally that you can?
Short the flyer, May 9th.
Oh, yeah. So I,
There we go, right there.
okay, wait. Hold on. There's the paint-outs that we do every month, the plein air paint-outs. If you're not doing them, go do it. It's really fun. Bring whatever medium you want.
And bear spray.
And bear spray. Yes, and be sure, remember you have to spray the bear when they're close to you.
Not 6 feet away.
30 feet away. But anyway, do the paint-outs. So we have
And
paint-outs.
this is all on placervillearts.com now,
Yes.
all of this information.
But, there's Sacramento Arts. They have plein air classes. I take classes every week from an artist.
California Art Club has a very big plein air element to it too. Kathy Levinson, their
Yeah.
president, is a plein air painter. She'll be in our competition on May 9th.
Plein air is an international movement, and there are conferences and paint-outs and all kinds of stuff. If you've not seen Plein Air magazine, how many?
Online too.
Hmm?
They're online.
They are online. You can take online classes. You can take urban sketch classes online from Ian Fennery or whatever his name is in the UK. And then you put your work up, and then they comment on it. They're all, they're very nice, but they also give you some pointers as to how to be better and how to do this. But the plein air is just in the moment. Think of it as in the moment. You're painting what's in front of you. You're creating what's in front of you. You're not in a studio from a photograph creating. And it will completely change how you view creating art.
Netflix has a series up. It's a plein air competition series that takes place in England over several years. And it's kind of a fun series to watch the painting as they occur. For the most part, it's invitational for renowned plein air artists, but they have an open competition where they allow a couple hundred other painters to come in and paint on the same grounds as the competition. And then they select one, the judges select one of those open plein air painters to participate in the main competition, and toward the end they can be included as well in the judging. And it's a fun thing to watch. If you're not familiar with plein air painting, it's a fun way to watch a couple of hundred people out in the field doing this, the kind of equipment they use, and also the challenges they face. Wind is a big issue.
Oh, wind, yeah, and bugs in your paint.
Yeah.
It's always fun. To wrap up, how many here have not signed up for the plein air competition but are thinking or going to do it? I love it. I love it. 2 people. I'd like more. It's a really fun event. And we, as an organization, Plaster Arts Association, dedicate a lot of time and energy into the plein air. I call it movement, but the plein air style of art and creating art. So look for more. And if you have any questions, I will be here the rest of the afternoon. You can come see my equipment.
I was watching something, I believe it was online, and it was about plein air, and they were painting a scene, I think it was in London or something, and they said, we don't want plein air painters in this part of the city because they get too many people gathered
Right?
around and things. And I thought, oh, how disgusting.
Yeah.
But that can be an issue, like
Can
in
be
a
a
place like
problem.
even downtown Placerville,
Yeah.
because you've got a certain amount of sidewalk space there, and if too many people crowd around you, then people can't flow.
Right.
Yeah.
One last thing I didn't mention, this is how I dress for plein air painting.
I was going to ask you that.
Yes, this is how I dress. I don't dress like this every day. But these are really light, kind of parachute kind of pants. The ankle has some elastic, I can close it. I wear boots. I just wear really comfortable hiking boots. Always don't show up in tennis shoes, wear really sturdy footwear, and then you wear muted colors that don't reflect onto your canvas. when you're painting.
And you might want to wear white socks in our area instead of black socks, because then you can see if you've got ticks crawling up your legs.
Gotcha.
You should also get shirts like kind of what you're wearing that is infused with a type of stuff
UV.
for
UV,
well,
yeah.
not just UV, but for bugs.
Yeah, even on warm days, you want to be covered. Even on warm days, that's why I wear these parachute pants. You want to be covered because you're going to get sunburned, you're going to get bit, you're going to get something. So cover, hat, sunscreen. I wear a tinted sunscreen as my makeup foundation. There's not a day that's gone by in the last 30 years I haven't worn it. You've got to protect yourself. Wear a hat, wear proper footwear, bring water with you. Bring sunscreen, yes, water, protein bar, your phone, make sure it's charged in case something happens, God forbid, because you are going out and you could slip and fall or something could happen. If you're on a trail, Can I just mention this? If you're on a trail and there's horses on those trails, please let yourself be known. Don't just let the horse sneak up on you, because that's how riders get hurt. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay,
I'm handing it over.
and before
Sorry.
we hand it over to Kathy, I want to introduce you guys to a new member of ours. The youngest person in the room. Eva Jones is here today. We met a couple of weeks ago, and she has become a new member, and she's also helping us with our graphics. So if any of you are running events and you need some help with your graphics, I want you to know that Eva's here and can help. So feel free to introduce yourself to her on break.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Good, Joe.
Thank
Can you guys,
Whoa, yeah, we can.
you guys hear me back there? No, that was a wonderful presentation. I don't paint, I don't sketch, but I learned a lot. Maybe I will.
Try it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Maybe I will. We're gonna take our break, and what time is it? Let's be back 15 minutes. And before we go, I wanna let you know we've got a back table full of artistic tools.
Also known as
I thought I
freebies.
was gonna say stuff, and I thought, no, it's artistic tools, and it's free. And so go look and see what you want, and let's clear off that table, okay?
This table's not included.
No, this table's not included.
Yeah, let's pillage Tracy's stuff.
Okay. Fundraiser for the Animal Outreach Program in Placerville. I didn't know it, but it said it was the only animal outreach no-kill in El Dorado County. And that kind of touched my heart. It was pretty nice. Last meeting, the people were here, they gave out cats. Has anybody taken a cat and painted it and bringing it back?
Debbie painted a cat. I saw it on
Right,
Facebook.
Debbie's got a cat. Lori, do you have a cat? You turned it in. Okay. Today is the last day to get it to animal outreach.
They need it by 5 o'clock.
And Sherry, who lives right around the corner from it, is volunteering to take them. Right now, we've got one. Does anybody else have any? No? Okay.
Let's see it.
Then,
Oh, it's Debbie's.
Maybe they'll glue it, right?
I
don't know.
the head came off just now.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it special.
Do you know how it was put on? Was it a
It's
nail?
like the, no,
No, it's
It's,
not
um,
nailed. It just, the wood just broke right.
yeah, the wood.
Oh,
Debbie, you gotta come up and show it because it
It's
is
gorgeous.
adorable.
Even dead.
Headless. Even headless. It is absolutely adorable.
Take it to them anyway, because their wood person can probably glue it back together.
One person could do it.
Look how cute that is. Look how cute that is. Yeah, and if they can't glue it back together, they can put a strap on the back between the two parts.
Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, take it anyway.
So I hope that, because it's going to be quite a fundraiser, and some of us artists have donated cats, dogs. So it's...
Kathy donated a really cute bulldog, 2 brown patches on its eyes. It's really cute. I gave some of my cats and dogs AI, so we're gonna have some various stuff there.
Liddell's prejudiced toward me. Good for me. But yes, so I sculpted a dog, and so I donated. But anyway, okay. So with that, we can go ahead and move on. Just for the record, the art challenge is coming up. We do it quarterly, and next month, April, is First Flower. So get your minds and heads around thinking first flower. You do something and then we'll share. June is Feel the Heat. September is Falling Leaves, okay? This is also in the newsletter. Studio tour. Paul, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. I've asked Paul to talk about the studio tour. It's in its beginnings.
Well, it's starting to pick up.
Use the mic, because we won't get you on
Sure.
this without it.
I'll hold this.
Okay, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now we can.
It's starting to heat up. I got a note from Nina, who's collecting all of the people signing up. We've got 20 participants in 6 studios so far. That's about half, or a little bit better than last year. And I think we're ahead of last year at this time. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've been sending out MailChimp. Have you guys been getting them?
Yes.
They're okay? Any feedback? Because this is kind of new to me. I don't want to pound anybody with heavy. It's working out pretty well? Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting all of them.
And we're getting something like a 30% opening, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Not everyone opens up their mail, but just, that's the way it is. I know, you don't know these statistics until you.
You go to the spam folder too, so people,
Well,
if they don't.
yeah,
check them.
Linnell helped me with that. A few people in the group have helped technically, appreciate that, to make the forms work. Matt and Linnell especially, and Sylvia, of course. So what we're trying to do is make it easy, and people are signing up, clicking the forms and paying through, so that's working. We are having a meeting on Wednesday, this Wednesday at Sarah and I at our house at noon, and we'd love to see you, and the address is in there. And I sent out 2 notices, first to the group that had been going, and then Linnell said, hey, why don't you open up, get everybody involved. So I sent that out again to everybody. Everybody's certainly welcome, okay? Let me know if you want to be more involved, okay? Any questions or comments? Thanks very much, hope you participate. It's really a fun event.
Paul, I'm just drawing a blank on the name, the woman who was going to be in our group last week.
You know, we talked about it last meeting.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, that was a husband and wife thing.
Sorry.
It's good, it's good.
I'll share. We talked about Victoria Perez-Mott, and that's really what she was reminding me of, to make sure everyone knew that she had passed on. Okay? We announced that last week.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very sad. Carolyn, you wanted, this member show is just around the corner. And I'd like Carolyn to talk about it.
But before I do, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't want that. Well, if this is your first time coming to the senior center in 2026, please fill one of these out. It's a waiver that needs to be filled out. It's a liability thing for them. So if you haven't filled one out in 2026, I'm going to leave them up here before you leave today, if you'll do that, and then I can just turn them in for you. See, I had to slip that in. The member show is coming up, spring member show. Intake is April 6th, which is a Monday, between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. I could stand here and tell you a lot about it, but go to placervillearts.com, go over to the right-hand side, scroll down to where it says Spring Show, click on that, and everything is there because Sylvia does her job. And the rules, the entry form, please download and print the entry form unless you really, really can't, so that we don't have to provide them there. And then all of the details about the categories. This is a media-based show, and some things have changed. So if you've been doing this for a while, read it because some things have changed. And then we're also doing a small works category, nothing over 12 inches in any direction, including the frame. So, does anybody have any questions? Yes, Valerie.
What's the deadline again? Do we send them something to you?
You don't have to send me anything. If you had wanted the possibility of something in the Mountain Democrat ahead, deadline's already gone. You just show up that day, you can bring up to 4 pieces, bring your money.
But she's 3D, so she needs to reserve a
But
pedestal.
pedestals are gone, honey.
I have
You have one, good.
Okay, good.
So you've done the most important thing for you. So if you have 3D work and you haven't already, reserved a pedestal, they're gone, right?
Yep.
Yep, there's no more available.
And in addition to your $10 entry fee per piece, you must be a member, of course, and you are required to volunteer to help produce the show. There is, on our website, there is a link that will take you to our sign-up site to allow you to sign up for your shift if you have not already done so. And there are some shifts left. I think there's one on Tuesday, there's some on Thursday, and there are still 3 opportunities to bring snacks on Friday. I know, shocking.
Usually that starts.
And there's also a couple of places that you can help on Friday. We're all set for Monday. Monday's completely taken, and there's a little bit of availability throughout the rest of the week. But get in there and get your shifts signed up for so that you're not left over with something you don't want to do.
Any other questions? Yes, hold on, I'll get you. Cheryl,
What is the pickup time? I didn't find that on.
it's
the
on Friday, the day of the reception, we're there 5 days, Monday to Friday,
Time.
3 o'clock. We're gonna let, okay,
What's the window to take it off the wall?
starting at 3 and up to no later than 5 because the doors will lock on us.
I thought it was 3:30.
Maybe it's 3:30.
It's 3:30.
I think it's 3:30.
It is, yeah.
And the reception's gonna be in the other building this time, so if you didn't win an award and you don't care about being at the awards, then you're gonna miss out on all the fabulous snacks everybody brings and, all that fun stuff. But, you can check your work out while we're all at the awards reception. Okay, Kathy?
Okay, I was gonna ask Linnell, signing up for the Sitting the Show, is that through the emails that you're sending out?
Well, actually, you can go right to the flyer that is in the left-hand column on the main page of Placerville Arts Association website.
Okay.
And you'll see a QR code there. You can either scan that QR code with your phone and it'll take you right to sign up, or Sylvia's got it fixed so that if you click the QR code, it will also take you to sign up. So it'll take you right where you need to go, just from that flyer that Eva Jones made for us for the Spring Member Show.
Okay, everybody? Do you have any
And,
questions?
and as far as pedestals go, there are 9. They measure about 15 by 15, and they are all taken, and I've got 3 names on the waiting list right now. Last year, the same thing happened, and due to mitigating circumstances, the waiting list people got a pedestal. So, don't get discouraged. We're gonna work with you and try to do what we can. I love it because I am a sculptor. I'm 3D only, and for years and years we could not put 3D in the government center, and I believe it was Carolyn that opened that door to where they want even more.
Julia got us 3. And Carolyn got us up to 9.
Okay, and begging for more, right, Carolyn?
Yeah, they would love to see more, but we're kind of limited space-wise.
Yeah, because you gotta be careful with the disability running through all the rules and all that kind of stuff.
And we also have to take them off-site to store them. So at the end of the show, 3 of us load our cars up and take those pedestals back and to our homes and store them in between.
Yeah, so we've come a long way, baby. We really have.
Oh, and for me, one of the greatest things is the way that we replaced all the S-hooks and chains with the rods. Because when Carolyn took over the member shows, we were still using S-hooks and chains, which required our volunteers to climb up on top of a stool and reach up to the top of the hanging rod and put an S-hook up there, and then anytime that needed to be moved to make it look better for art, that had to happen again. And now we've got this beautiful rod system with hangers on it that came from Walker Display, and from the ground level we can reach that hook right up there. We never have to get on a stool. And to me, it's the most wonderful thing. So that member show has really come a long way in the last couple of years.
Yes, it has.
Would you like to have a donation of another pedestal? I have one.
Talk with Carolyn about that. One of our issues is we would need someone to store it and move it, because Patty Cisneros takes 4, and that's as many as can fit in her vehicle. I take 3, and that's as many as can fit in mine. And Carolyn takes 2, and that's as many as can fit in hers. So it's not just finding a place for it at the government center, but it's finding someone who wants to bring it back and forth. If you want to do that, volunteer with Carolyn, and she might be able to find a place to put it.
I don't want to store it anymore.
Well, there we go.
I was gonna put the onus on you. It's a process. We all show up on Friday at 4:30, unload all the pedestals and place them all around the government center for the opening on Monday. So it is a process, but appreciate that. But it's not a closed door. Talk to Carolyn and see what might happen. It'd be good. Okay, so, I wanted to show you this. This is the postcards that are at all of the tables. Excuse me for sitting down, okay? Sorry, can everybody see me? Okay. The postcards are on the table, and this is the Motherlode Show. I think the important date is that the entries start on June 8th, where it'll be open to enter, and the Motherlode Show runs in November 5th through the 21st. Carolyn and Sue have just done amazing work building that up. Just a bit of history, the Motherlode Show. We were excited, huh, Marilyn, if it only cost us $1,500 to put it on. Well, now we don't pay $1,500, we make that and much more. So thank you to Sue and to Carolyn. Fabulous.
And that comes mostly from artists who are not Placerville Association members. So we don't mind making money off of them. We don't feel so happy when we make money off of you guys, but other artists, that's fair game.
And not only that, but the artists who are not members, so many of them sign up to be a member because we are a really cool club.
And we give extra prizes to Placerville Arts Association members.
That's true. That's true. That's how we built our membership. There is a drawing for flowers that Donna Nelson always brings when she comes, and they're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. They're sunflowers.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. I love sunflowers. Okay, so if you haven't signed up as the guest or the member, please do so, because that's how we do the drawing. Okay? All right. Good for you guys.
And let's not forget to do that.
Linnell says she always forgets to do that, but we got her back. Somebody always signs her up. And I think, does anybody have any questions about anything? No? Okay. What I'm going to do is turn it over to Linnell right now. And we've got a big project coming up for the county fair. And she is the resident expert on that. And do you want the jobby do?
Sure.
When I forget the name, I just call it a jobby do.
Okay, I'm probably too close to the camera, but whatever. That's okay. All right, so first we're going to talk about something we've never done before. We were invited by the El Dorado Community Foundation to participate in a fundraising drive that they have for nonprofits in the county called Match Madness. You all have this on your table. There's probably not enough for everybody because, man, somebody designed a very ink-intensive flyer here. But if you don't get your own personal copy, take a photo of this with your smartphone. So what this is the El Dorado Community Foundation is doing a fundraiser, and Placerville Arts Association has our own page in this fundraiser. And typically this isn't something that we would participate in, but they've made it so attractive, they made it hard to not want to participate, because they're giving some extra prizes to the organizations that do the most fundraising. The ones that raise the most money could win up to an extra $3,000 bonus. Scratch that. If you get the highest number of eligible donations, then you could get a $3,000 bonus prize. The runner-up is a $2,000 bonus prize for the organization with the highest donation total, so the highest number of dollars raised. And then there will be 4 other prizes of $750 bonuses with the next highest totals in the event. And then there are going to be 8 organizations chosen for a $250 bonus with a random drawing. So if any of you are feeling like you have an extra $20 or $100 or $3,000, go to this QR code and donate starting tomorrow. Don't do it today because it wouldn't count if you did it today. It starts on Tuesday, March 17th, and runs through April 3rd. And we would appreciate any donations that you might want to give to us. Like I say, it's not something we would typically do, but we were approached and it kind of became a, well, why not try it?
What is the purpose?
For us, we've decided to not make it for anything specific, but just to simply make it a general fund type of donation. The board would then decide what they wanted to do with the funds. I'm going to lobby really hard to have it support the Plein Air Competition and Art Festival next year, because that is going to be the highest risk event we have ever undertaken. It's a higher risk event than the Motherlode Show is, because it has about a $15,000 to $20,000 budget on the event. So if we don't rent out the booths and we don't bring in the Plein Air artists for the competition, we could be in trouble. We'll also be looking for some sponsorships dedicated specifically to that event over the next year. Steve Ellenberg will be working on that because he likes to network, and we're probably going to join the El Dorado County Chamber of Commerce so that he can network more effectively with some of the other local people to try to bring in sponsorship for that event. But right now, just general fund. I'm going to kick it off tomorrow. We need to have at least a $100 donation total to qualify. So I will kick this off tomorrow to get our hat in the ring with a $100 donation from me, and hopefully some of you will feel motivated to do the same. Yes, Shirley.
So we can get donations just from anybody, right?
Yes, it does not have to be our members, but it has to go specifically through our page on the Community Foundation's website. And that's what this QR code will get you to. And then there's also a very hard to read link here on the flyer as well. And so either the link or the QR code will get you there, or if you go to the El Dorado Community Foundation and you search for Placerville Arts Association, you'll also get to this page.
The blast tomorrow. The blast comes out tomorrow.
There will be a blast come to your email directly tomorrow as well. We've got that scheduled to come out tomorrow. So this information, the link in the QR code and the flyer, will be in your email with the blast from Placerville Arts Association tomorrow. So we appreciate anything you do, and like I said, we've never tried to do anything like this before, but when we have a chance to win $3,000, that's a pretty big deal. So we're going to give it a go. And then the other thing I want to talk to you about is the El Dorado County Fair. This will be my 4th year, along with Fab Dabowski, running the fine art exhibit and photography exhibit at the county fair. I do fine art, Fab does photography, and last year the fine art division also scooped up the youth fine arts because they thought I wasn't working hard enough. And that really increased my workload, made it much more comparable to what photography has been doing for the last 3 years. So we're on our 4th year of this. The thing that is really interesting to me about the county fair is this is the only venue in El Dorado County where over the course of a 4-day weekend that you will have 18,000 people walk by and see your art. There's no other venue like it in El Dorado County. If you have sold art at the county fair, raise your hand. See this? See this? Lori, I thought you sold something. I thought you sold your little cart last year, a 3D cart. You did, see, Lori, and she doesn't even remember, but I remember that Lori sold something at the county fair. So it's a great place to show your art and sell your art. I believe the entries this year in fine arts are $10 per piece entered. Last year I entered 9 pieces of AI. Is it?
If you're professional or semi-professional, it's $6.
It's $6? Okay, Carolyn knows, I don't. Anyway, last year I entered 9 pieces and I sold 2 or 3 of them. I owned 9 pieces of AI art and I was the only AI artist that entered and sold 2 or 3 pieces last year off the wall. So it's a great way to support the community and interact. Now, these are the fair guides that have all the information. So if you bake, if you're a gardener, if you do quilting, there's something for everybody at the county fair. We also, I've included this flyer. The board has already received this and this will be emailed to all of you within the next couple of weeks. But this flyer tells you how to enter. These instructions are also on our website. And it also tells you how to volunteer for fine arts and photography, not bakery, but this will get you to a link to sign up if you'd like to volunteer for the fair. We cover about 70 shifts of volunteers at the 4 days of the fair, plus the time in front and behind the fair to check things in and get them taken back at the end. And we need help with that. So if you feel like you would like to volunteer for the fair, there's a link to sign up on the fair sign-up sheet right on this page, and I would really appreciate it if you would volunteer to help with the fair. It's fun, and if you volunteer, you get a ticket for the fair for every day you volunteer. So if you volunteer for intake, you get a ticket for that day. If you volunteer to sit the show, host the exhibit later on, you get a ticket for that day. So come volunteer, get your free tickets. Parking is not paid during fair time. However, the fair makes it very easy to get to and from because they have a shuttle that runs continuously from the Placerville Library and also the Forney Park and Ride. So it makes it very easy to get in and out. And I also want to mention that on Friday of Fair Day, there is a plein air competition that the fair holds every year. That starts at midday. Entries are due in around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the fair CEO judges those entries. And then typically the fair will buy one of the entries for the fair office to commemorate the year. So one piece typically gets sold to the fair office. Sometimes other pieces get sold. Last year I think we sold 2 or 3 plein air pieces. And the plein air competition yields the highest prize for any fine art or photography event. So you might make $100 if you are the winner in that competition. It's also really fun, and it can be really hot also. And that's the year it was so hot was when Vesla painted the inside of the exhibit hall, and I happen to own that painting, and it's just so charming because it's my exhibit at the county fair. How could I not buy that Vesla? Anyway, that's what's going on with a couple of our activities coming up. I hope you guys will think about signing up for that plein air competition if you're even the slightest bit interested. And go to our website. We have at least 3 different websites. And one of them is called paa.gallery, www.paa.gallery. And that website has our Motherlode Show entries for the last couple of years. And it also has our plein air competition entries for last year. So this is a good place for you to go and take a look at who else is painting. And you're gonna see all kinds of levels. You're gonna see everything from that first place one that I showed you to a teenager painting. And it's a charming event, it's really fun, so think about getting involved in that, and that kind of will prep you for the bigger competition that we're gonna have in Plein Air next year. Any questions about any of that stuff? Okay, thank you all so much for being here today. Kathy, you got anything else?
Flowers.
Oh my God, thank goodness
Yeah, we got
somebody
flowers.
remembered.
But I also wanted to add that the fair just is absolutely wonderful, and when the fair is shut down, I'm thinking it might be sometime in July, they have a dinner. And you're all invited, all the volunteers are invited to dinner, and I mean, it's just amazing, and they have prizes, and if you don't walk away with a prize, something was wrong.
We got free t-shirts last year too.
Free t-shirts, and I got 2 prizes. It's a and the dinner is great, and the people are great. So, there's a little caveat there too. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the drawing. And Tracy, are you still here? Okay. Tracy, pick a number between 1 and 29.
Got it.
Oh, do you want to share it?
Okay, 16.
Did you say 15?
16.
16. 16, Linnell.
Okay, I don't want to even go into how the dog ate my leftovers this week off the counter. Tracy, pick another number, because I don't do it. So go ahead, pick another number. I love flowers, but the dogs just are
Okay,
crazy.
did you say 17?
12.
How about 17?
No, 12.
She said 12.
Rebecca. Rebecca.
Oh, nice. And don't forget, Rebecca's going to share her butterfly with us. Rebecca's going to share her butterfly with us. No, she's not? Okay.
Okay.
No? Okay.
Rebecca, you win the flowers. Thank you, Donna. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Okay, and I'm going to show it if Rebecca won't. Rebecca made a butterfly because she thought we had a challenge. And I just have to share, when Art walks into this room, I can't stand to not show it. So there we are.
Did we talk about butterflies last meeting? Something in the back of my mind. Sherry, you do butterflies. Did you just say I do butterflies?
I'm doing butterflies right now.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I thought maybe we talked about it.
I don't know where it came from.
Rebecca thought maybe it was a Sherry.
I blame it on her husband.
Okay. All right. So with that, guys, we're done.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
And take one.